Keystone Cops.
What's going on, guys? I'm back with another video. Yeah, this is another Emerson video. I just happened to pick up two Emersons back to back, and actually a third, but anyway, that's a whole different story. And I'll kind of get into why I picked this knife up in a little bit, but it's defective, isn't it? Something's not right with this 7. What could be wrong? Oh, it's a right hand grind. And before I even get into the knife, I'll explain exactly what that means. Emerson typically grinds the this primary bevel on the left side of the blade as you're holding the knife. So this technically is incorrect for if you're going to use this as a right-handed person, because what you want to do is you want to have the material that you're cutting. If you're using a chisel, you want to have the material that you're cutting kind of being forced off of the blade and kind of out of the way. So this being on this side does that for a right-handed person, whereas if the primary grind is on this side, it doesn't, in theory. Now in practice it's not a massive deal, but in theory this having it on the left side is not as efficient of a way to work. So that is the big difference on this CQC 7, and this was a collaboration by Tactical Elements. This is not the first collaboration that they've had with Tactical Elements. It is the most recent, and this one is the CQC 7B. There you go, CQC 7B. B stands for Tonto, A stands for drop point. I'm not going to get into a lot of the history behind Emerson knives and all of that stuff or models, because I'm going to direct you guys to a guy by the name of KAL0PR Caliper. He has an awesome channel that he just goes into a lot of detail about the history of each model, the history of Emerson, etc., etc., etc. And I'm not even going to try to touch as good of a job as he does. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, I'm going to encourage you to head over there. But this is a 7, a regular size 7. I have been wanting to add a 7 back to my rotation for years. I've wanted one without a wave and one that was green. This kind of checked both of those boxes in a little bit of an unconventional way. So I ended up being lucky enough to pick one of these up. So let me tell you about the knife. First things first, I know everybody wants to see fit and finish, because I know Emerson knives are trash. I'm joking, that's sarcasm. You can see the lockup here. It's pretty early. Very little lock stick. It's more audible than it is tactile. The blade does not drop, but you know, Emerson's, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. This one also isn't fully broken in. This does ride on Nylatron washers, not Teflon, not nylon, Nylatron washers. You can see the stonewash finish here, very even and smooth. You can see the stonewash here is excellent. The laser etching is excellent. The grinds are excellent. The actual bevel, the secondary bevel, is good here at the tip, but you can see it does kind of tail down in a, if we're going to call the upsweep a smile, I guess we'll call this a frown. Not a huge deal. It's razor sharp, and if that is visually distracting to you, you can always fix it pretty easily on sharpening, which you should be doing to your knife anyway. Learn how to sharpen if you don't know how to sharpen. On the blade, let's talk about the etching. TE Tactical Elements 52-100. This is blade number 52 of 100. And there is just the standard Emerson information. It does have a domed pivot, which is kind of a nod to the Emersons of old. They had domed pivots, quote unquote domed pivots, and you can see why it's called that. This is a steel flame laser etched clip. These are green micarta handle scales, and these handle scales, this material is typically what you would see on Emerson's Customs. So that's kind of cool. It also doesn't have that really kind of hard, more of a slick type of feel that a lot of micarta does. This feels like it has a little bit of pile to it, a little bit of fluff, if you will, and it feels almost soft but very warm in the hand. It's pretty tactile, so that's pretty awesome. This waveless option is what I like, I prefer. And it's just all around, it's just a great package in a knife that's familiar to many but done slightly differently. I'm very happy that I made the purchase, and I plan on enjoying this knife for years to come. I'm glad that I just kind of happened to be in the right place at the right time to pick this one up. Oh, I didn't show you guys the centering. Keep in mind, this is a chisel ground blade, so no, the tip is not centered, but you can see that's the blade centering in and of itself. The other thing is, sometimes these handle scales on the G10 versions are a little proud of the liners, and people will comment on that. You can see it's just a hair proud, but on this side it's not proud at all, but nothing that is a major deal. All in all, excellent knife. I'm happy to have it. I'm going to be happy to put it to use, even more use than it's already seen. I appreciate you guys watching. Remember, a lazy man carries a dull knife, and don't be a dumb person with a smartphone. Catch you in the next one.